Yeah, I'm upset. I'm upset because a lot of people seem to be confused about, what the stats actually mean when it comes to the unemployment here in South Africa. They seem to be so misconstrued as to exactly what 33.76% means. I'll break it down for you. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Peace in Pan African name, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Morning Drive with your boy King. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Please make sure to click the subscribe button,
the
follow button,
as we do so well.
Leave a like for your boy King, and always leave your thoughts on the comment section.
They definitely left their thoughts on the comment section. A lot of people left their thoughts in the comment section. Hands off Jacinta, my brother. You hate her, but you are very interested in what she has to say. When you are like this, you don't believe kwizinto ezinziwa abanye abantu awukholelwa koyona. You don't believe in things that people do here in the country. Economy kanti akuyona yini into ye government kahle bo. Isn't the economy something that the government is responsible for? Baningi abantu abaqashiwe as we speak. There's a lot of people who are employed as we speak because he's, responding to what Homesize was saying throughout the video, talking about South Africans are not even employed even after the March and March movement has been literally marching over illegal immigration in South Africa. Patriotism is not about jobs only. There's identity, culture, ownership, protection of the space that belongs to you as a South African. Facts. So a lot of people are like, you know what, King, blood clot, if you don't shut up, my guy, we'll make you shut up. A lot of people are like, hello, how many jobs has EFF created since your existence? Because everybody knows that King is an EFF supporter. And we're not gonna, treat him a certain way just because he supports a political party that does not align with South Africans. However, it does align with other African nationals. Somebody's like, oh, do you understand economics? And that's why I'm here. I so happen to not understand economics, but at least I'm familiar with the basics of economics. And it's not because I studied economics in school, but it's just because I'm able to do some extensive research when I'm sitting in front of this laptop. I don't just sit here and look pretty.
It's very funny how when you go on our Jacinta's social media pages, well, at least I checked Facebook.
Good for you.
That they have not commented on the unemployment rate that has risen on Q2.
I don't live my life trying to see who's commenting on what. But apparently some people are out here waiting for people to say something about such subjects instead of them just doing their own due diligence to actually have some commentary on exactly what they're talking about. But now, Homesize woke up in the morning, drove to work, and just started having some commentary about another person minding their own business. How about you, sir? Literally do your due diligence to find out exactly what the stats actually mean. But nah, of course, I want to hear what Jacinta has to say so I can have some commentary about what she has to say. Bro.
And I have seen some foolish people who don't even understand how unemployment is calculated and when it is calculated, saying things like, "Hi King, you will only see the job of Q2 or the result of Q2."
He's talking about you in the comment section. Look,
in Q3. Imagine someone says that. Imagine someone says, "No, you will only see the job of Mabahambe on Q3 because most of the Mabahambe activities were focused on Q2." What is Q2? It's the second quarter of the year, meaning that the year is divided into 4 quarters because there's 12 months. Quarter 1 is January to April 1st, and
quarter 1 is January, February, March.
And quarter 2 is from April, May, June, and July. Those 4 months.
Nope. Quarter 2 is April, May, June. You know what? Let me just shut up.
Are the ones that we are talking about. Now, the simplest way I can...
Quarter is 4. Quarter is 4. Anyway, you know what? It's fine. Oh my God. I can't believe I have to do this. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. It's 3 months in one quarter, not 4 months in one quarter.
And explain it to someone who does not understand anything about calculating of Qs is an exam.
Bro, you the one who cannot calculate what a quarter means in 12 months.
It's a exam report, or a school report rather. So there's nothing that we're gonna see in Q3. Q3 is for Q3 numbers. Q3 is never for Q2 numbers. Stop it. Don't even talk nonsense that you don't understand on the comment section.
You tried to divide 12 by 3 and you trying to make that seem like it's quarters. No, that's not quarters, my guy. But it's fine. You know what I'm saying? So you the one who's talking about shit you don't understand. If we're talking about Q3, we're talking about we stepping into the festive season. So once we stepping into the festive season, best believe historically South Africa always peaks. It's a bullish market when we're talking about the festive season in South Africa. So best believe the unemployment rate is going to decrease during the festive season. It's historically been proven. If you look at last year, the year before last year, you'll see that quarter 1, quarter 2, it's always an increase in unemployment. Facts. By default. You guys don't believe me, it's fine. Let me show you. Alright, in South Africa, the official unemployment rate deteriorated across both Q1 and Q2 from 2025 to 2026. No problem. As per usual, because the unemployment rate in South Africa has been a very, very big crisis that the government has been ignoring for years now. Fine. It is what it is. That's why we're in the streets right now protesting. Cool. Because the South African youth is unemployed. But everybody else in the continent of Africa seems to be employed. Where? In South Africa. Facts. Zimbabweans, for instance, they have a whole ZEP permit. ZEP meaning Zimbabwean Exemption Permit. As a Zimbabwean, you don't have to face those consequences of hopping into South Africa illegally. You just need a permit and then you can reside in the country illegally as long as you have that permit. Blood clot. So that means 178,000 Zimbabweans right now with that permit are able to replace South Africans in the workforce as long as they apply for a job. Blood clot. And they're telling us that foreigners are not taking our jobs. You guys are bugging. Anyway, so Q1 of 2025, we were at 32.9%. And then Q1 of this year, we are down 0.2%. Meaning that the unemployment rate decreased in 2026, the first quarter of the year. Now, let's talk about the first quarter of 2026, 2025. What happens during this term of the year? What happens during the first 3 months of any year in South Africa, a lot of companies retrench or they lay off a lot of employees. Why? Simply because this is the off season. We've been, milking the life out of the festive season. That's the fourth quarter, October, November, December, January. So those 4 months, we are literally milking the life out of everybody's pockets. Everybody had a bonus back in December. Everybody has some cash to, some disposable income to spend. So we need to milk and take that money from these people who want to spend. People want to spend this money, we'll take it from them, no problem. But however, we have to hire people so that we are able to service the ones who want to spend their money. If I run, for instance, a warehouse where we export or we ship items, whatever. We run an online store like Takealot, Amazon, etc. We're going to have to do a lot of packaging of goods because our online store is booming. Fantastic. Happiness. Boom, boom, boom. We're getting orders back to back. I only have 5 employees. Let me hire 5 more so that we're able to ship out more items as efficiently as possible. I'm not going to give you a permanent contract for this job because I know that it's only now that we're having this influx of orders. After this festive season, it's going to dry down. And when is this after? It's January, February. So if I hire you in October, I'm going to give you a 3 months contract, man. If I hire you in November, 3 months max. By Jan, I want you out of my business. I don't want to pay you a salary no more. Why? Because I know from Jan into Feb, a lot of people are not spending money like that no more. Fair? Fair. Business logic. That's why in Q1 of any year in South Africa, or at least as I know of, because I live here, I wouldn't know how they operate in Malawi, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, etc. But here in Mzansi for sure, boy, it's chai. Come Jan. A lot of people is broke. I'm broke in Jan. Because I blew my money back in October, November, December. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't need employees no more. They can vie now. Sharp. Your contract is terminated. Bye. And that's why we have an increase in the unemployment rate in the first quarter of the year. That comes naturally. Fine. Right? So that's the first quarter of 2025, first quarter of 2026. That's normal. However, we had a 0.2% difference between the first quarter of 2025 and that of 2026. And it just so happens that in 2026, we had a lower unemployment rate compared to last year's unemployment rate. So I guess 2026, we did a bit better than the previous year. We didn't lose that many jobs than the previous year. Now let's go to the second quarter of the year. So in 2025 quarter 2, we had 33.2% compared to 2026 quarter 2. There's a difference of 0.4% increase in the unemployment rate in South Africa. This is not a surprise to me. It shouldn't be a surprise to you either, because you are well aware of the protests that we've been having here in the country, saying that if you aren't documented or if you are illegal in the country, please vie. A lot of people did. Apparently, it's like around 82,000 people who got repatriated out of the South African Republic of South Africa. So everybody's acting like, oh my God, yeah, now that the foreigners are out of here, you guys should be having jobs. Yes, that's exactly what's been going on. However, a lot of these folks who left the country also contribute to the unemployment rate here in South Africa, because when Stats SA does its census around South African communities to find out who's working and who's not, they don't care about nationality. They don't care about whether you're unemployed or not. They just care about people who are in the country, who are of the working class, capable of working. At least those who are able to apply for work and marinate and operate accordingly in the work system and earn a salary. Do they care if you're earning your salary via a bank account or via an envelope? They don't care. So everybody, whether legal or illegal, is counted in the unemployment rate of the country. If a lot around, right? That makes sense? Are you with me? Let's keep going.
The Mabahambe season, I call it the Mabahambe season,
Shut up.
was purely focused on Q2. It was the end of June that was announced. So in May, a lot of people started gathering in the camps there in Durban.
Shut up.
You started seeing people gathering at the embassies in Cape Town and Joburg, everywhere. You started seeing people gathering everywhere. So that's when it started. May, especially May, it was very busy in South Africa. And the question that I asked is that if unemployment decreased, don't you think by now our Jacinta and Abu Pakela would have said something? They would have taken the glory. They would have...
I don't think that the illegal immigration movements had to say anything when the youth of South Africa started getting employed. They didn't have to say anything, simply because everybody already saw people posting on their socials saying that, I just got employed. We saw Checkers 60 employing a lot of South Africans. You know what I'm saying? We even saw South Africans complaining that, why is this Checkers 60 bikes getting punctured on the wheels simply because now it's South Africans who are driving these Checker 60. Bro, everybody saw a lot of South Africans getting employed. We all witnessed this. We all witnessed LACO organization that's basically responsible for pulling up on these firms or companies that are hiring illegal foreigners and literally holding them to account to make sure that they stop this illegal employment of foreigners, literally performing modern day slavery on the immigrants that are coming into the country as cheap labor. We've seen them pulling up on them and forcing them to hire South Africans. We've seen South Africans getting hired back to back all across the country of South Africa. So for us to act like it hasn't been happening, Hotman King. You haven't seen the change, at least in the employment rate as far as the Kasi Lokshin nation is concerned. Joe. You've seen how Joe. Maybe one of you not from the Kasi, but you've seen Bruce from Soweto. You feel what I'm saying? Kaeli Shadogo. You've seen Bruce from all over the VAR getting employed thanks to the efforts of trying to get immigrants out of the country so that South Africans are employed in the same facilities that they were employed in. I mean, you've seen on my channel, I don't know if you have already, but I know that my audience has seen on my channel, I've been discussing this quite a lot when it comes to a lot of people who have been hired in our South African universities. I've been talking about 7,000 plus people who have been employed as teachers in our universities, as facilitators, as administrators in our universities, as if South Africans are not able to, occupy those positions. It's been offending South Africans. So if you're telling me that you haven't seen South Africans moving into some of these literally minuscule positions, literally, it's not even scarce skills, it's minuscule positions. Some people don't even need to have a degree for these type of positions, but a lot of Zimbabweans, Nigerians, Malawians have been holding on to these positions that South Africans are able to occupy and literally finesse. If you're telling me that when I was Khomalak, respectfully, if you're telling me that you haven't seen this happening, hot man, I don't need. For sure, like but let me not even get there. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
They've said, yeah, we told you they have left, and the economy is rising up now because they have left. Those people are uninformed. Jacinta is educated, but I don't know what education she has, because
the last thing I want to do is insult people's intelligence or education status when you are unable to differentiate between what is 12 divided by 4 and 12 divided by 3 when it comes to figuring out what a quarter of a year is. You're the last person to judge Jacinta when it comes to this topic and subject. By the way, she did respond. Let me go on Facebook quickly. Give me a sec, I got you. Hold on. Let's read Jacinta's response. Since a lot of people have been saying that she's been quiet about this whole thing. Yo, hold on. So around 2 p.m. on a very sad note, we lost a brother of mine, Mosa Mufukeng. Homeslice passed on around 2 p.m. today. So I'm a bit tipsy right now because I've been with the guys and we've been drinking. Just talking about the moments that we shared with Homeslice, you feel what I'm saying? RIP to my big bro. Passed on at the age of 36. He left us with 3 kids. You feel what I'm saying? One of who has a head that's exactly the size of his, so we're gonna at least remember him. You feel what I'm saying? Through that young man. Boy. Yeah. R.I.P. to my big bro. You feel me? I wasn't gonna do the stream, but I guess we're here now. I was looking for Jacinta's page quickly. R.I.P. to big bro, dog. You feel what I'm saying? Take care of your health, guys. You feel me? Just take care of your health, dude. Like, relax. Just take care of your health, man. Alrighty, I found the post. So it reads here: I've been out of the country and unable to entertain a lot of things, and my account was mostly not managed by me. But I'm back now and I want to laugh at those who have been going on about how uneducated we are, but when it comes to reading stats, you fail dismally. Busy celebrating that the jobs we claimed are being created aren't being created when it's actually you who can't read. Jacinta is throwing jabs. Let's find out what exactly she's talking about. Firstly, if you read the stats, you will realize that in the sectors that we have been saying are flooded with foreigners and they have been removed daily, 34,000 new jobs have been created in the space of just 3 months. So she's talking about specific sectors that she and her organization have been pressing for 3 months straight. 34,000 of these jobs have been created in space of just 3 months. No problem. So 34,000 families now having an income. Why are you ignoring that part and rushing to highlight the general figure? Why is she talking about 34,000? Because that's the figure that the statistics essay has been talking about. We'll get there as we scroll down into the post. Secondly, an increase in unemployment doesn't always necessarily mean jobs are lost. It also could be a result of more people now actually looking for jobs than before, because there are those folks who literally just ignore or stop literally looking for jobs. Ignore job posts, or stop looking for job posts. And now they just woken up again to be like, oh shit, you know what? There might be opportunities now. So let's quickly see if we can find any opportunities. So in your head, please process the fact that an increased unemployment rate does not mean an increased number of jobs lost. In this case, it's an increase in the number of people looking for jobs than before. Exactly what I just said 2 seconds ago. We went to school, guys. Don't try these stunts on us. Maybe before you succeeded in spreading propaganda to favor you, but not this time around. Thirdly, I've never seen so many idiots who celebrate that their own country has an increased unemployment rate. Now she's talking to South Africans themselves. Foreigners can celebrate that kind of nonsense because we know they are sitting there just waiting for us to fail. But as South Africans, how stupid must you be to celebrate an increased unemployment rate in your own country? She's talking to Homestyles right here. How could you celebrate this, dog? Anyway, in your own country, just because you get a satisfaction feeling that makes you feed into your own delusion, or you feel it helps your political party look better. EFF. Sis, man. Anina mahlonias. Yo, my Zulu is fluent. I've been going crazy with the Zulu language. Sis, man, anina mahlonias. Congratulations to everybody that has started a new job, because we've seen a lot of people literally starting a new job. We wish you guys all the best, and please respect your jobs and help improve this country in every way possible. You are now working for all of us because you pay taxes in this country, and you're contributing to the purse of our government. Even though they're looting, at least you're contributing to the best of your ability. Now you have the right to protest as much as you want to because our constitution allows for it. So Jacinta also posted a picture of this screenshot. It reads here that the number of persons employed in the informal sector and household sector decreased by 41,000 and 9,000 respectively. So 41,000 was in the formal sector, while 9,000 was in the household sector in Q2. That's April, June, January, February, March. April, May, June. That's April, May, June. So in April, May, and June, 41 and 9,000 respectively for formal sector and the household sector. And in the informal sector, we had an increase of 34,000. That's in Q2. So everybody acting like I say there wasn't any positive that we experienced in the second quarter, then you bugging. 34,000 people got employment in the informal sector. Informal meaning maybe we could argue that, the gardening services, the guys who are putting up in the gardening service spaces, the blues who are operating, I don't know, man. The informal sector could be the spaza shops, your corner fruit shop, veggie shop, those informal businesses that you see around South Africa. She also posted another picture, and in this picture it reads that if I quickly just move it a bit so that you guys are able to see it properly, they'll say AI overview is saying no, the standard official unemployment rate does not count people who are not looking for jobs, right? To be counted as official unemployed, a person must be without a job, available to work, and actively searching. So some of these people are not actively searching, and therefore they won't be counted into the official number of people who are looking. We're only concerned about the people who are actively searching, who are available for work, and who are currently unemployed. That's the number we are interested in. Say, Liz.
There is absolutely nothing there in terms of economical knowledge. So they would have made a big noise, because rightfully so, if they send the people away and the jobs were created, of course it was going to mean that Mabahambe worked. But Mabahambe did not work, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand what I'm saying? It did not work.
Mabahambe was 30 days ago, so of course it did not work. Nigga, we just got here. We're just getting started.
This video I remember I did on economics and job creation was it the 135 Ghanaians that boarded the first plane?
I'd hate to work like an economist, like a brew over here, when he doesn't know what a quarter means in a year, and he can't even say Ghanaians. He keeps saying Ghanaians.
I asked the question. 135 Ghanaians have left South Africa.
Ghanaians, bro.
Do we have 135 jobs now?
Such a Julius Malema ass question. Yo, XA, my guy, that is not how things work, dude. Yo, we first have to figure out exactly what those 130 something Ghanaians were doing in the country. If they were employed in the formal sector, sharp, we can replace them like that. If they were in the informal sector, then it's going to be a bit of a problem, because somebody was breaking the law by hiring illegal Ghanaians. And most Ghanaians, according to their government, were literally running businesses. According to them, it was legal businesses, but you'll find that those businesses were in the informal sector, and therefore a lot of them were illegal. Mind you, a lot of them were undocumented Ghanaians, not Ghanaians. Yo, I hate to talk like this, but like say, if somebody is trying to act smart on YouTube and I'm watching these videos, I just cringe and think, oh my goodness, bruh. Don't try to act smart just because we're not really, like creating content like that. But if we start creating content like that, we'll expose you on your stupidity and lack of blood clot knowledge. Don't act smart with us in your car with your glasses, trying to talk as if you know more than we do. My guy, We out here just reading stuff, reading articles, literally watching videos, and bros like you pulling up here acting like you guys know more than us. It's disrespectful. Hot man. And at that time. At that time. But like I say, the bare minimum that you can do is literally learn how to pronounce Ghanaians. The bare minimum you can do is literally how to figure out what is 12 divided by 4. So you can know exactly what a quarter is, but no. You're gonna be out here trying to insult our intelligence, talking about how, yeah, we don't know what a quarter is of the year. It's January, February, March, April. I can't get over that, so let me just get over it and just flip and move on, dude. Yo, so annoyed by this guy. Oh my god.
And everyone said, yeah, don't worry, we're going to get the jobs. Those people are not taking your jobs.
He said foreigners are not taking our jobs. I know at least 178,000 Zimbabweans who have a ZEP permit, a Zimbabwean exemption permit that allows them to work in South Africa, reside in South Africa, literally study in South Africa, etc., without having to face the immigration consequences of the law. So if you're saying that those Zimbabweans, I'm just talking about Zimbabweans alone, there's also Malawians, Nigerians, Ghanaians. I mean, we've been watching the whole commission that's been going on in the country. I'm sure you've seen it already. In Mpumalanga, there's a lot of people who've been hired in the Mpumalanga University who are Zimbabwean and Nigerian, who are holding positions that South Africans can hold. And you telling me that South Africans are unable to occupy those jobs because they are scarce skills? Stop playing with me. It's been exposed already. It's been exposed already multiple times. I exposed it already on this channel that there's 7,000 plus jobs that are occupied by not illegal, but by legal foreigners whose jobs can be easily occupied by South Africans, because we have a lot of teachers who qualify to hold these positions who are currently working in China, Japan, overseas, simply because our system was unable to absorb them. So do not gaslight South Africans. Please, I'm begging you, hot man. Do not gaslight South Africans. I'm begging you, hot man.
Someone who's cutting hair in a salon is not taking your job.
So according to your logic, every single Ghanaian who was in South Africa was cutting hair, or was a nail technician, or was in the informal sector. The same informal sector that you and I both know that is reserved for South Africans. The same informal sector that you and I both know that is reserved by South Africans and asylum seekers. Not even asylum seekers, my bad. Refugees, because only refugees and South Africans can occupy positions in the informal sector. If you're not a refugee or a South African citizen, you are not allowed or should be operating in the informal sector. At least that's the case in Ghana. That's the case in Tanzania as of 2025, July. And you're telling me that you don't know that information, but you're out here calling us stupid just because we're telling you that, say, we are faced with a crisis in the country and we are seeing the immediate problem as the township economy being absorbed or occupied by the Somali and the Bangladeshi and the Ethiopians via the spaza shop market, which is literally contributing to the fiscus of the country in a fraction of around 200 billion rands annually. And you're calling us xenophobic for that? If you and your parties don't get the black card out of here, hot money, I'll do it for you, no problem. I'll get you guys out of here personally, in my own personal capacity, video by video, week by week. I don't have a lot of time in my week schedule, but I'll make time. It is what it is. So annoyed, bro. Yo, I'm so annoyed, dude. Yo. Don't wanna lie, bro.
Someone who's selling potatoes in the streets is not taking your jobs. Someone who's selling brooms and sticks from their head, walking around the township, is not taking your job.
Yes, but they're still breaking a law. So we're just gonna ignore them because they're breaking a law. My guy. So what I'm not gonna do on this chair that I'm sitting in, what I'm not gonna do is pick and choose exactly who I'm gonna speak in favor for. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you are a vigilante and you're out here trying to control your neighborhood's system or operation by taking the law into your own hands, you are a criminal. Go to jail. I don't care if you documented, illegal, or a South African. Blood clot, you should not be pressing people and asking them for their documentation if you're not a Home Affairs official or a policeman. If you're gonna pull up in someone's store trying to press them for documentation, you are breaking the law. You should not be doing that. I'm not gonna pick and choose and decide who's going to operate accordingly or not. If you're not the legal person to operate that operation, don't do it. Arrest that bro. If you're gonna be looting, you're a criminal. Bye. Go. Issue. Bye. We'll see you in jail. I'll send you a Bible. And if you're a foreigner and you're here in the country legally and you're serving a scarce skill, or you have a business visa and you're operating a business that's hiring South Africans, and if there's no South African who occupy that position that you need help with, and you're hiring a legal immigrant, congratulations. You are more than welcome to marinate and operate as much as you want. I love you. You are contributing to our blood clot taxation system. Fantastic. But if you're gonna let me sit here and literally defend every single South African who's breaking the law, then something is wrong with you. So I won't allow my guy over here to literally defend people who are involved in the informal sector of South Africa without the valid documentation. I'm talking about the bare minimum, just being in the country legally. I'm talking about the bare minimum of the people that he's talking about, those who are selling in our informal markets. The informal markets right now, as far as you know, this the layman stuff. I'm talking about those people who put a cloth on the floor, put their items on the floor, and they sell to people who are walking, passing by. I'm talking about those type of informal sellers. A large majority of them were illegal, and that's why when you go to markets around Durban, Cape Town, Joburg, you'll find that those markets are empty. You know why they're empty? Because those people were undocumented. You know why they were undocumented? Because our government told us they were undocumented. Our national television told us they were undocumented. They told us by saying that, say, around 82,000 of them have been repatriated, and 33, why am I lying? 99% of them were undocumented. It's facts. Google it right now, my guy. Around 300 Ghanaians got repatriated out the country. 95% of them were undocumented, hence illegal. But now we're just going to ignore that, right? I'm not going to sit here and do that. If I see illegal operation happening, I'm going to call it out. If it's legal, I'll shut up and keep it to myself and move out the way and let it happen. What you're doing is that you're trying to say that, say, where's the Ubuntu in us? If you want us to talk about Ubuntu, no problem, we can do that. However, let's scratch out the law and put Ubuntu as part of the law. Until we do that, we're going to look at the law and implement it as much as we can for the benefit of South Africans, because they're citizens of this country. They abide by the rules and the law of this country. So if you don't want foreigners to abide by the rules and the laws of this country, then you might as well vie with them, my guy. Vie with them.
We have told you this, but of course, we are accused of hating the Zulu tribe. We're accused of hating March and everything. They are quiet now. They are saying absolutely nothing.
There's nothing to say, but keep going. I've said a lot already.
Zero. They can't comment. They're gonna comment after this because they see our videos. They're gonna comment after this. Quiet. They can't reason. They can't even come up with some reason, qualify the reasons like, oh no, the oil prices has risen and that is why we.
If I was to debate this brew, I would smoke this brew, dog. Yo, I would smoke this brew in a debate. Yo, I would wash him.
We have lost jobs. Look at even Pick and Pay or whatever. They can't even come up because they know nothing about economics. Nothing.
Yo, that's a lot coming from you. Yo, that's rich coming from you.
They don't consult. They don't. They don't study the economy. They don't understand politics. They don't understand nothing. All they know is futak, futak. Every time you're like, hey, you're making noise, and that is why some of us say we find it hard to listen. Upakela can listen to him talk because he's not loud. He's not loud. So Jacinta thinks being loud and saying futak, Somalia, futak is going to grab people's attention, but it is exposing her inner being, the hatred that is stored inside. Hey, it's concerning, and the people love Jacinta. People are Jacinta for president. President Kanjan, a president Kanjan that does not understand economics. A president like Dayton Mackenzie that is going to stand up and say, Mabahambe.
That's a member of parliament, by the way. A member of parliament that a lot of South Africans are voting for. So I think the issue is the voters, not necessarily the people who are in those positions, my guy. But you wouldn't know nothing about that, right? Because your favorite politicians is Julius Malema. So to each his own.
What type of president is that? You guys tell me. So for me, I look at the people. I'm like, the country is desperate for leaders. I've said it in my other video. I said, movement are a result of political failures. Social movements are there because political leaders are failing the community. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If the politicians were doing something right, people would not even start movements. Movements for what?
That's bad.
Because the immigration officers would be doing their job. Everyone would be doing their job. So movements are as a result of failed politics.
True story.
In our society. Now, be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Just because King Seso speaks nice, makes noise, wear nice clothes, speak eloquent English, does not mean that King Seso can now be the mayor of Kimberley. No, absolutely not.
Boy. A lot of people in this country are not politically educated. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's the bare minimum for you to be a political leader in this country. So yeah, you definitely qualify to be a political leader, and you definitely have the attributes to get a following as far as political ambitions are concerned.
King Seso can be the premier of the province. Absolutely not. King Seso can be the president of the country. There's no such thing.
King Seso can be the cunt. And that's his words, not mine.
Absolutely no such thing. You cannot conclude things in that manner. When you do conclude in that manner, people say Pakelam Tagalum Tagati for president. We are concerned about your mental health.
Well, unfortunately, that's the average South African, my guy. So yeah, you have to suck it up, because you should ask yourself why the ANC is still ruling this country after decades of literally running this country down to the ground. So why are you surprised? Duh.
We are concerned. Jacinta for president. No. Never. And
never. But say your favorite politician can hold positions in presidency, right? Bet. Says a lot about you too. Guys, Oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this. But I was so annoyed listening to this bruh talk on the internet, spewing some literal nonsense. I'm like, bruh, I can't let this slide.
I'm not speaking about Ngizwe on purpose, because whoever takes that one serious, I don't know. We should go and examine you as well. But anyways, you will see they will respond. They are still putting things together. They will send a letter. They will say this is much and much statement of the unemployment, and it's not written. When you see them release a written statement, just know it does not come from Jacinta. It doesn't come. There's other brains in much and much that are releasing that statement.
Yo.
When Jacinta makes a video, you must know it comes from her personally and not necessarily from much and much. When she makes a video on social media, when it's a combination of both, when it's Jacinta and much speaking, they make a presser. Have you noticed that? Oh, you haven't? Okay, it's fine. Let me leave you there. Have a blessed day, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Alright, cheers, buddy. With your smarty pants, trying to make South Africans seem like they don't know what the blood clot they're talking about. Guys, if you haven't, I see a lot of people joining the stream right now. So if you haven't literally gone back to what we spoke about, please circle back. You feel what I'm saying? So you can know exactly what we covered in this live stream. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys click this, scan this QR code right here. In the description, there's a link you can click to go buy a book. I got like hundreds of thousands of books behind me. Some are even in boxes. I haven't packed them yet. That you can buy on Amazon. Free delivery nationwide. Appreciate it. That's how you support the channel. See you guys on the next stream. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brian Savannah. Love you guys.